starting now?
Yeah, we're going to turn it over to the host.
Oh, jeez.
We're not even recording
wait,
it.
This is just for the YouTube.
Places. This is what happens
Hey,
when
for our
Steve gets
YouTube
kicked
fans, this is like before the actual podcast. This is like outtakes.
It is actually before.
Like outtakes. Will you slide the microphone more in the middle? That's for the SoundCloud version of the hit podcast, Big Ten Frenemies.
Oh, we're a hit.
Yeah, we're a hit. Ask 23 people that listen to us.
17 in Bulgaria.
Stop, that's my beer.
Oh, sorry, I can't drink beer. Anyway.
Well, you can. You just take your clothes off and run around and set things on fire.
Okay.
Good.
So we're going to turn it over to our host, Buckeye Drew. I am the Wolverine Steve.
Okay.
All right,
He
sweet.
is, apparently. Welcome to Big Ten Frenemies, episode...
16, I think. 16, I think it is 16, yeah.
I thought we were at 13 last week.
If you want to say 15 and a half, it's 16.
Holy
Yep.
crap. Holy crap.
Sweet
All right.
16.
We're like veterans.
Yeah.
Well, 16.5.
Right.
How have we
Correct.
made it this far without anyone dying yet?
I don't know. It's insane.
My money was on you.
The episode is not completed.
That is true. That is true. We a lot of excitement over the weekend as Steve in his pre-video.
It's loud in here tonight.
I'm
sorry.
super. It's what?
It's louder in here
I'm
tonight.
sorry. What?
It's louder in here tonight.
Are you gonna catch on to that?
Well, I'm just
or am I gonna
concerned.
keep
I hope
doing
our
it?
listeners can hear
Anyways,
us.
let's kick it off and just jump right into the recaps. We have two special games. Spartan Phil got to take his daughter, his oldest daughter, to her first game, and Steve took his lover Murray to Chicago for
Girlfriend.
a sweet weekend of
Significant
football,
other.
and almost losing to Northwestern. Who wants to go first? Phil?
You know what?
Sure.
Let's let Phil start
So
this
yeah,
off.
it was a fantastic day. Perfect fall Saturday football weather. It was cool.
Cheerleaders.
There was not a cloud in the sky. It got pretty hot there, a little hot under the sun in the stadium actually. And luckily the Spartans offense was there to cool it off because it wasn't a good showing. Spartans ended up 30-20 victory, but it was a struggle because Central Michigan scored 17 in the fourth to make it a game. So ugly showing all around. We don't even need to get into stats. It's kind of disturbing. Lewerke seems to be regressing. He does not make good decisions. He's throwing interceptions.
Do you think it's just like almost mid-season haze, like he's tired out?
What I think it is,
Which I don't understand because you guys had a bye week.
Yeah, I think it's more that our offensive line is just not good. It's still in shambles.
Like the timing of the whole offense, right?
Everything's all. I mean, that's what happens when your offensive line sucks, and it's just injuries are mounting. I mean, we have
Holy crap! His
10
stats are
trash.
Well, I mean, they're surprisingly like Clayton Thorson from Northwestern. Thornton went 16 for 27, 174 yards. Brian Lewerke, 16 for 25, 185 yards.
Correct. The difference is that was against Michigan's defense. We were playing Central Michigan's.
Good point.
Did they take him out of the game though? Like, did they take him out of the third quarter?
For one series, we saw Rocky Lombardi.
Who did nothing. He must have got a handoff.
He got sacked.
He
had a handoff, I think a sack, and then an incompletion, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But, so I didn't get to see, I was with my daughter for the first half. She loved it. It was awesome. We had a great time. But I didn't get to focus on the game. I got to watch it plenty, but, seeing like players come in and out, didn't get to see that as much as I would like to.
She's 7 or 9?
7.
Seven.
She just turned 7 in September, and then we left after the half. We made it till the goal was middle of the third quarter. She made it till after the half. So good on you, Zoe. And so I didn't get to see. I went back to the tailgate. I met up with my wife and kids, and by the time I got back to my friend's house, the game was pretty much ending. So didn't get to see as much as I would want. But everything I did see and that I read about was not impressive at all. Win and move on, but
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was so unimpressed. I had to turn the game to something else. I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah. Again, I mean, the rush defense continues to do well. I think we gave up 63 yards rushing, so we're still at like 150 for the year. But But yeah, the defense, and I will say I was told that there was a lot of second teamers in when Central Michigan scored its first touchdown, kicked an onside kick. They put the starters back in, but then they still scored again, had a field. I mean, it was just not good. Not what you want to see. It was not what I was looking forward to. So that said, my little Zoe was able to get a picture in her with some Spartan cheerleaders.
I looked at it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, Phil's daughter is in that picture.
Yes.
It's very
So
cute.
we're walking to the stadium, and yes,
some cute Michigan State.
Isn't she
cheerleaders, I
adorbs?
guess.
so is my daughter. I'm just kidding, Zoe. I love you. Yeah, it was a nice little picture. That was very kind.
That is awesome.
Very kindly of them. That's what it's all
Did,
about, though.
did yours take a picture with any cheerleaders?
In all seriousness,
No, she was the
in
cheerleader.
all seriousness,
Celebration.
Put it
I
on,
love
you guys.
I love the fact
In the
that
Windy
Phil.
City.
It warmed my heart when Phil
I
told
wore
me he
the
was
helmet
taking his
like you
daughter.
asked.
They got great seats.
Thanks, Bryce.
I've been going to games. My grandpa started taking me with my dad when I was 10 years old, and so it's always been a big family thing for us. I know with your family it's Toledo football and stuff, but like it's a big family affair, and
Happening
so
this weekend.
it's awesome. Now,
BGUT, it's the
Oh,
rivalry.
yeah.
Phil for real is one of the best dads I know. He takes that part of his life very seriously, and he's a great father. I feel like I'm a good dad too. However, I was a little tougher with my son because I took him when he was 3. 1999 Illinois game, and that son of a bitch ruined the whole day for me. He had to pee, he wanted to go here, he had to
Damn it,
there.
Jordan.
I mean, it was the longest day of my friggin' life. My ex-wife was all stressed out. It was sucked. Jordan, it sucked. And Michigan blew a big lead at halftime and lost that game. I left as they're like losing the game, and I told him, I'm like, you're banned. I didn't take him back to the Michigan game for 6 years. He got a 6-year ban. I took him back.
I oddly have to say I agree
I
100% with that.
2005,
parenting
he was
style.
9 years old. I looked him in the
the
eyeballs. I
boy.
said, you're going to go to the game if you want, but we're not leaving early. There's no souvenirs. We're coming to watch fucking football. And you know what? He loved ever since then. He loved
I
it.
agree. I think your parenting was spot on
All right.
for a boy.
Whoa,
Okay.
whoa. Here's where it was wrong. You put him in a losing situation. I have a 3-year-old boy, funny enough, and a 4-year-old girl. They weren't coming near the stadium because I knew what was going to happen.
So he's saying he's smarter. Look.
It was a bad decision
I wanna
to
see
put
if
the
my
kid
kid
in a.
maybe-
You don't
he's
need
my
to
kid.
prove that you're smarter than Steve.
Whoa! But I'm thinking, I'm gonna throw this kid in the water and see if he can swim.
Every hand
You know what I
motion
mean?
he has done has been about beating his child. FYI, he's like, I'm thinking. When we first went, I was like, it's pretty intense.
Anybody who knows
isn't
me
it?
knows I'm a gentle
I,
soul.
yeah, now
Okay. Okay. Is it my turn? Is it my turn?
Your turn.
So
We've been waiting for the
okay. So we'll
details.
talk about the guest I brought. I did bring my girlfriend, my significant other. It was her first Michigan game.
Love her.
She had fun.
My love.
She had a good time. She was a little nervous because she had not. When I watch Michigan football, like my son describes me as a leprechaun, and I don't think it's just because I'm not as tall as some or like I bounce around. I
it's definitely
jump.
because you're
I
short.
grab. I
Plus you
hug.
Where's me
slo-
lucky charms?
I do say me lucky sometimes. I
His son
slobber.
and I are very similar in thinking.
I slobber. You are actually.
Because
I-
Lions game, quick up it. During the
like-
Lions game, it's funny that you brought this up. You know how they'll do like the Lion King, like where they hold their kids up at the Lions game?
I've actually not
like
seen
the
that.
Simba music.
Yeah. So to the music, like when Simba's first born
Yeah.
and showing to everyone, they do that, and like parents
People
hold up
do-
their children. And I saw him at work the day after. I was like, it really would have been funny if like Jordan just held you up.
And Jordan told me at the game, he's like, Dad, I should hold you up. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you tried,
Jordan,
man.
I'm on your
You
side.
tried
bud.
that shit, man.
All right, sorry to
Anyway.
interrupt. Go on to your
Jesus, now
story.
he's
I
shooting.
know, wow.
Now he's got a gap.
Anyway, Marie had a good time. She didn't know what to expect because I'm really into it. And as you know, Michigan, right out of the gates, was getting their ass stomped at Northwestern. And I'm like, I've been to a lot of road games, and I've been to, unfortunately, a lot of them that we have not prevailed, and it had that feeling. It's like, wow, this is going to be one of those games.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get upset. It's horrible.
Seemed like it.
Like, all of a sudden, the Michigan Harbaugh haters are going to be like new heights. It's going to be terrible. So, anyway, thank you. That's me. Anyway,
delivery.
pardon the interruption, folks.
That's a trademarked. That's trademarked.
That's Jordan.
You can't use.
Anyway. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nutty.
So anyway,
Can you grab that?
I was very, very nervous about that, and but luckily they prevailed. It was a gut check, came back and won. The negatives from the game
A lot.
were that the defense, the first quarter, inexplicably just let Northwestern move up and down the
first half.
field. Well, for the part of the second quarter, but I mean, they only allowed 200 yards for the game and only 56 yards for the whole second half. Northwestern never crossed midfield in the whole second half. They really shut the door. But the beginning,
Shut down the rushing.
yeah, statistically, and I know it's who they played, right? But right now, Michigan's number one in the nation in total defense with yards allowed. But there's certain things on the defense that worry you as a Michigan fan, and that is certain passing situations where I still don't understand how they moved up and down the field. They look like the Alabama Crimson Tide in the first quarter at Northwestern. You know what I mean? And
I was gonna say,
so,
Michigan didn't.
but they did. The defense got it. They got it corrected, and they more than made up for it. I mean, they hold the team 200 yards, 17 points. 50 yards in the second half.
If you look at it as a whole, you go,
The
that's
defense-
damn fine. 17 points at 200 yards, I'll take that.
Right.
I'll take that.
You
give yourself
allow a
chance to win.
team, especially on the road, under 20 points, you should expect to win the game, really, no matter who you're playing,
Yeah.
right? So, defensive side of the ball, I still think they're fine. They're developing depth. Offense is still a lot of concerns there, mostly to do kind of like Michigan State. I think it stems from the offensive line more than anything, because were you shaking your head no?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it stems from the offensive line.
I think your offensive line is growing. I think your wide receiver
It's
core
growing.
is not growing. Your
The
wide
wi-
receiver core is terrible.
The wide receiver core, I don't think is terrible at all. I think it's still
Homer.
unproven to a degree. It's very young receiving core for the most part, showing flashes, and
How many rookies do you have on your wide receiver core?
one.
Oh, so they're not young.
Well, Nico Collins played like 5 minutes last year, so he's pretty young. And Donovan Peoples-Jones is just a sophomore. So anyway, Andrew thinks it's the receiving core.
Your offensive line isn't great either, but I'm seeing more and more
here's
that
the thing.
Shea Patterson can't get it into anyone's hands, and that's either Shea Patterson's a bad quarterback, which he's not if you look at the numbers. It's that your wide receiver cores are not catching the ball. How are you going to
We're not throwing the ball a lot, though. Michigan's not throwing the ball a lot, completing
it's
70% of their passes. So then that's coaching. Either way, here's the thing.
There's a flaw.
No, here's the thing. I will acknowledge there's some concerns on the offensive side of the football, but I'm not the jump off the bridge kind of fan, because you did get the
Really?
win.
Because you said you were going to jump off of a stadium again today.
Yeah, I did, and I might if that one happens. But I'm saying they won the game. There's reason to be concerned, but you hope that they continue to grow. And every game is different. You know what I mean? So the offense, even though it's against a shitty team, scored 56 points last week, over 40 the 2 weeks before that.
Maryland.
And hopefully it's not a work call then. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, going into the game, got some losses.